All right. Hey, welcome. My name's Nicholas, and today we are finishing up my art print series, making an art print from start to finish. And today we are going to be ordering prints. Let's make this short and sweet and just get right into it. Alright, so we're going to start off in Clip Studio Paint, and basically what we're going to do here is do a quick cleanup, and in this case all I need to do is delete the logo because I'm going to implement that in Photoshop, and we're going to do the rest of the alignment and resizing and all that sort of fun stuff and color settings in Photoshop just because it's easier. I haven't done too much printing straight out of Clip Studio, and so I'm not going to focus on that today. Well, let's use Photoshop. So I'm going to select all my layers. I'm going to shift click all the way down, and then I don't want the white background, so I'm not going to select that layer, and I'm going to do merge selected layers. And now all my artwork is on one layer, and as you can see, it did not change. I'm going to delete ruler. It did not change color. It didn't do a hue shift or anything like that. You need to keep an eye out for that when you're flattening layers, because sometimes things can get a little wonky and you don't want things to get wonky. And you figure it out later on. So be careful, keep an eye out, watch the artwork as you flatten it. If nothing happens, great, you're good to go. All right, so we're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to go to Photoshop document, and I'm going to select this one and change it to version 3, because guess what? I've done this 3 times, or this will be the 3rd time, and I forgot, or I didn't have my audio recording set up correctly, so the audio didn't get captured. So I'm a little annoyed that I have to do this again, but it is what it is. It's okay. It's not that complicated. So all right, that has been saved. Be sure not to accidentally save over your working art file that has all your layers. You don't want to lose that file. Just be careful. Make a copy. Okay, so next we are going to switch over to Photoshop. Let me move over to my other monitor because I have Clip Studio on my Cintiq, and then I have Photoshop set up on one of my desktop monitors. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File and Open Up. All right, so we've got our art print in Photoshop. So what are the next steps? Well, you need to take into consideration what printer you're going to be using, and I've decided to use a local printer that I got in contact with recently called American Molding. I'm in Florida and they're local to me, so I want to use them. I want to partner with a local printer so I can go in, check out the prints, make sure the color's correct, and go in and sign limited edition prints. That's just important to me, you know? So figure out what's important to you. If you want to use like a nationwide provider that's online, you know, definitely do your research. There's plenty of good YouTube videos out there that have done that research. I found a useful video from this YouTube channel called Inkwell. He does some really awesome art, and he has a lot of good recommendations for printers to use. Okay, so the printer that I'm using, they have specs on their website that mention a 1/2 inch white border around my artwork, and I'm printing at 11 by 14. So if you hit Control-Alt-I, or if you go to Image and then Image Size, you'll get this information telling you how many pixels your artwork is at. And if you want to look at it in inches, or if you're in Europe or whoever uses the metric system, you can do it in centimeters, millimeters. Choose whatever you want. I use inches because that's the standard for US sizes, and I want to do 11 by 14. So I'm still at a 300 resolution, which is perfect for print. It's going to come out nice and sharp. And I need to actually reduce the size of my artwork. So I'm going to hit cancel, just so there's a 1/2 inch border and I don't have to do a full bleed print, which would cost extra, because the way full bleed works is they'll print large and then cut to the specific size. And that's so you're paying for a cut instead of just paying for the print. And you know, some printers have the ability to print full width. But I'm just going to be on the safe side and not have to deal with any of that hassle, and add a little bit of extra hassle on my end and not on the printers, save a little money. So what I'm going to do is go to View, Guides, and we're going to set up our margin. So go to New Guide Layout. And as you can see, these new guides have shown up as I have the new guide layout menu open. And I already have it set to turn on margin, and I have it at 0.5 inches. So 1/2 inch border around the entire image. So we're going to use that, hit OK, as our guide to resizing our artwork. And now you can either hit Control T, go to Edit, Free Transform, or just click on the corner when you have the Move tool selected. And there I click on it, and now the image is resizing. Something to note is you want to make sure when you're resizing it that you have this button selected. It like links the aspect ratio. It says maintain aspect ratio. Some say lock aspect ratio. You want to have that turned on. Otherwise, Photoshop used to do it. They kind of reversed it, but you'd click on something to transform, and it would do this, and it would get really warped unless you held the Shift button. Now, if you have that selected, it does the opposite. And I don't know why they changed that, but whatever. You get used to new stuff. But yeah, so you're going to want to go in and zoom. Gonna want to make this match your guides. Go in close and make sure everything is accurate, as accurate as it can be. Okay. And I'm going to show you another way to do this. That you do a little bit of math to figure out, but then you're going to want to hold the Shift button so it goes up and down, either goes horizontally or vertically when you hold Shift, or diagonally. That way you know it's not getting out of alignment. And there I've had it snap. Oh, another thing to do is go to View, turn on Snap, and make sure it's snapped to guides. And so when I click and drag this up, it's going to snap to my guide. Unfortunately, when you transform, it doesn't always snap to the guides. I'm not entirely sure why. It just seems like over the last few years, or last decade, that Photoshop, their level of quality has gone down. I don't know why. I don't like the focus that they have on AI now, but that's for another time. Anyways, I'm going to undo that and show you another way that I like to do it when I really want to be exact, which in this case I do. So you're going to hit Control T, and at the top of the screen, you're going to have all these different options. Like this is where the middle of your image is located. You've got the width and the height, which we already kind of addressed with the locking of the aspect ratio. You can rotate. Actually, not what? Okay, yeah, that's like skewing. And then I'm not entirely sure what that's skewing the opposite direction. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is go to your width. And so let's do a little math. So we're doing an 11 by 14 print. We're taking off 1/2 inch on both the left and right side of our image. And so we're going to, 2 halves of an inch is an inch. So it's going to be 10 inches wide. So we're going to type in, see it says 100%. I don't know what percentage would be, I don't know what the percentage of 11 would be to make it 10. So what you can do is just type in 10 inches and it'll automatically do the math for you. see it says it's like 92.62% off the top of my head. It would take me a while to figure it out or use a calculator. So Photoshop, hats off to Photoshop. You can put in whatever inch. If you want to do centimeter, you can do that. Put whatever unit you want in there, and it'll figure out the math. So hit enter and confirm my transform. One thing to note when you are transforming, there's different types of interpolation, and you want to be very careful not to choose the wrong one. And a way to know what these different interpolations do is if you go back to image size, let's exit out. Image size, you'll see there's a resample button, and these are the different interpolation options. And as you'll see, they in the in parentheses, they give you like a description of what that particular one is for. So if you're reducing it, you want to use preserve details. If you want to use sharper, you might want to use bicubic sharper. I actually use bilinear. That's the one I've used the most, and that's why it's defaulted to it. I found that gives me the best results of what I'm looking for. For some reason, it can get a little weird. Like if you blow things up here, I'll do an example. Let's do bicubic smoother and maybe say like 6,000. And we have it at smoother. If you do preserve details, it's a little more pixelated. And if you do reduction, it's even more pixelated. There's like really slight things. Bilinear I found to be the best one, but that's just my personal preference. Play around with them, see what it does. It's not totally that noticeable when you're working with something that you're not really reducing or making larger that much, but something to keep in mind. If you're like making a print that the original artwork's large and you want to make like an 8x10 version of it and you choose the wrong interpolation settings, it might look a little jacked up. So be careful. Just a note. Okay, so we've got it measured to 10 inches. We just want to hold shift and click and drag it up to this top line so we know that it's at a 1/2 inch on the top and on the sides. And then we've got this little section at the bottom that we wanted to put our logo. Creative Cloud has my logo already ready to go, so I'm just going to drop that in here, snap it to the corner, and I'm going to choose the right-handed corner to transform this. And when I did this before, I had a 0.3 inch, or 0.3, not 0.03 inches. And that felt like a good amount of margin and space from the actual artwork for my logo. And I'm putting my logo in there because I've been finding and discovering that art is really about your brand. The person that you are, the artist that you are. People buy more into you than they do the actual art. They want to know about the artist. And if you can do anything to sweeten the deal, make yourself feel like an established person, do it. If you have a logo, use it. I'm also going to be writing the edition of this print. So if you have like an edition of 100, I'll have 1 of 100 or 36 of 100 written on there, and then my signature. So there's going to be a little bit of space in there for what this print. That's why there's all this blank space. I'm going to be writing probably the number on the left-hand side and then my signature close to my logo. I've even considered getting like a stamp or something like that, because it's just a little extra touch that feels a little more luxury, because you're selling a luxury item. Art is something that people buy when they have the money for a luxury item. Something to decorate their home or their office space. So, you want to make it special. People are going out of their way to spend a little extra money for something that isn't practical except for visual aesthetics. And that's something I'm trying to be better at. So, I am by no means an expert, but I'm working on it. That's why I have like branding on my YouTube channel, like an animated logo. and a lot of other things that I'm about to share about soon, maybe in this video. We'll see. Okay, so we've got that set up. I'm going to go ahead and merge down the logo so all my artwork is on one layer. And the next phase is we're going to switch this over to CMYK. And the reason we're doing that is I made this art in RGB, which is screen color. And it could be wise to make this in CMYK. And CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And those are the process colors used for print. Specifically, well, not always just inkjet. Laserjet also prints in those 4-color process. Basically, they put these dots together. I think I explained this in another video. They lay these dots over together, and it produces a wide range of colors with just those 4 colors. It's a great process, and it's perfect for printing, and your art's going to look a little bit different when you switch to CMYK, as you'll see in a second, like right now. Let me press CMYK color. All right, you ready? We're going to merge. We're going to use this web-coded swap V2 profile, and just because it's the standard, I've always seen that. I've always used it. Sometimes printers will tell you what profile to use, but most of them don't. They normally just use this particular profile. But definitely contact your printer and make sure you got the right settings, because they'll definitely let you know. They're happy to give you the right type of profile and settings that you need, because it's less of a cost for them if it gets messed up and it's not correct. You have a better chance of getting your print right if you use what they suggest. So as you could see, and I'll hit undo, the color vibrancy goes down. And that's just the case with print. Because there's light behind a monitor, you're going to be able to get some more vivid colors. But that said, when you do actually get your print made, it's not going to be that noticeable. As dull as it looks on your screen, it's going to look a lot better. And sometimes you have to be a little careful. Sometimes you want to overcompensate and boost the color levels, but that's not always the case. An effect that occurs when you have like a gloss added to printed colors is it enhances the color, and it's going to be making the artwork more vivid than you thought, or what you previewed on your computer. In this case, I'm going to be printing on matte paper, just because I want to write the edition number in pencil as well as my signature, because that seems to be what a lot of artists do, and especially the ones that I look up to and are my art parents or role models, and I want to do what they're doing. So I'm planning on using a matte paper, and you'll see in a little bit, I actually got 3 different prints made. They had a gloss, they had a watercolor paper, and a matte paper, and I wanted to see what all 3 look like. And actually the matte paper ended up being a little off in the yellowish green color. So I had to contact the printer, and they were able to fix the problem for me, because I really wanted to use the matte. I think it looked the best, and it's gonna be the best for writing in pencil on the print. It's also good if you need to work with the printer to tweak some colors if things don't turn out correctly. You know, they're there to help you. They want to retain customers, so definitely tap into that help if they offer it. I think that's one of the great reasons to try and find somebody local. I would suggest talking to local artists who are making prints and see who they're using, so you can partner with somebody in your local area. Okay, and now we're going to save this as a PDF. So go to Save Photoshop PDF, make a new file, always save a new copy, hit save, and you'll be getting these different options. I like to choose press quality and do color conversion to that specific color that we discussed. And yeah, when it's saving, it'll have like this weird look to it. and it freaked me out earlier. I was like, oh no, did it mess up my colors when I saved it like that? But after it's done saving, it'll return back to normal, and the file should be good to go. If you need bleed settings or anything like that, if you're going to trim your print, you could do it there. But yeah, that's it. Your file's ready to be printed. Okay, I'm back, and this is Nick from the future. We ordered the print. So what you want to do is, find your printer, contact them, go to their email address, find how they want you to send files to them, and just follow their protocol. It's pretty straightforward. With American Molding, I emailed them, sent them a Dropbox file, and they were able to access my print file that way. And so I ordered prints, and I sent away for some gloss, their watercolor print paper, which was the most expensive, and then a matte paper, which I mentioned before. I wanted there to be like a nice texture to it and the ability to accept pencil onto the print. So it seemed like matte was the way to go. And I got my prints back, and the matte ended up being a little bit off in color. And that's why it's good to test your prints before you just go all in and get all of your prints all at once. Because there's all sorts of different brands of printers and companies and stuff, and you never know what you're going to get. And what I'm doing right now is opening my different art prints, and as you can see, you'll tell this is the matte print, and if you can tell, the yellow ended up. It's almost like a mustard yellow, which is not what we were going for. We wanted a lime green. And I'll show you now. This is the gloss. They call it luster. As you can see, it's a lot more lime green on the luster paper, but it's shiny, and it's not going to accept a pencil signature and edition number on that type of paper. And then finally, they also have a nice watercolor paper that's a little bit textured. It's kind of, you can kind of see it when I put an angle on it. There's a little bit, when I put it at an angle, you can see a little bit of the shadow. And, it looks nice, but not exactly what I was looking for. I think the colors came out great and accurate on the luster and the watercolor paper. But another thing about that I don't like about the watercolor paper is that it has this kind of a yellowish tint, off-white tone to it that I'm not looking for. So yeah, what I did was I contacted the people at American Molding and let them know what my problem is, sent a picture, wrote my notes as to what the issue was, and yeah, I contacted them. They fixed it, no extra charge, and I went in today and they sent me the new version of the matte color, and it looks it looks way better.
What's that?
NicholasRoberts.art is my new website, and it's launched. You can visit it now today and order one of these prints. That's going to be an edition of 1 of 100. I also have some open editions that are available in my shop right now. There's some options. So yeah, take a look. No pressure. I know you're not necessarily here to buy my art. Maybe you are though, and it's it's my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna plug it. Okay, if you like my art, buy some. Okay, that'd be great. I appreciate it. Well, that's it. We finished the series. How to make an art print is now complete. The fun part is done. We got to see the final product. I chose the matte color. We went through the sketch. We went through the line art, we went through the color, and then light and shadow, and now we finally finished with my son saying something funny in the background, and we finished the art print. We sent it to the press, and it's done now. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad this is over. It's been looming over my head a little bit, and I'm ready to move on to other things for this YouTube channel. I have some ideas. I might do some YouTube lives. I think that would be really cool to get questions as I'm working. But yeah, maybe leaning more into the world building stuff right now. But yeah, leave a comment if you have an idea of something you'd like me to talk about in the future. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.